How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Whiskey Here. We are in Times Square today. There's a giant hot dog here. How big did you say it was, Pedro?
65 feet.
65 feet, and I guess every day at noon it's gonna shoot off confetti. So we got about 9 more minutes. Wanted to come here and check that out, but yeah, Times Square. Today's goal, we're gonna hit up all the liquor stores around Times Square, try to find some of the craziest bottles, some of the craziest prices, just to see what New York City's like. And then hopefully maybe find some good ones. We'll see what it's like. This is pretty cool. It is a little overwhelming sometimes during the day. It's beautiful. I came in Times Square last night just to check it out. So yeah, we're gonna go try to find some crazy whiskey. See you there. I don't get it. All right, y'all, so day 2 in New York City. We are not far from Times Square. And today we're just gonna do it all. We're gonna go to a bunch of different liquor stores, check out what they have there, and I just want to show you some of the. This is basically one of those museum stores. Probably can't afford a lot of things in here, but look, just take a look. Just come start up here, all the way by the Schnakes and Bombergers, E.H. Taylor. They have the small batch straight, single barrel for 400, cellar age for 400. That's actually not terrible compared to some of the secondary prices I've seen. The Michter's up there as well. A lot of the rare Woodfords I've even never seen. And then one thing too, have y'all ever seen a 1792 high rye? I didn't even know that existed. 600 for that. And then looking at the standard shelf though, so far the best thing that I've seen price-wise, and actually I just called Joe, a good friend of mine, and he said that he would probably take it home if it were him. The John J. Bowman single barrels, you guys know how much I love these. John J. Bowman single barrel for $99.99. That's actually not a terrible price compared to, like, look at this, Henry McKenna bottled and bond for $130. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm taking the John J. with me. So we'll just go over, show you kind of the things that they have in here. Buffalo Trace, I know I saw it just a second ago. 60 bucks, $60 for a Buffalo Trace 750. Not a store pick or anything, that's just regular old Buffalo Trace. And Eagle Rare right here, Eagle Rare on the shelf. Just a smooth $99.99. Definitely the highest I've ever seen it. Jack 10, $3.99, $5.99 for the 12. Then they have Knob 15, which is so weird. Knob 15 is only, I say only, $1.99 is still very high, but compared to Jack 10, it's crazy to me. It's blowing my mind, some of the prices. All right, so look, they have Parker's Heritage 10 for $3.99. They have a kosher rye recipe coming from Buffalo Trace, $119. But look at this. The 1924 for $300. That is the craziest price I've seen for that by a mile. I'm like a little blown away here. Sazerac Rye for $50, and then I'll just show you kind of the rest of the shelf just to see what I'm. $79.99 for the port barrel here. They have a toasted, Elijah Craig toasted, $159.99. Barrel Proof B522, that's kind of an older one, $129. I've seen them go a little bit more on secondary prices, so not crazy, $99.99 for your 1792 full proof coming in right here. That is just wicked. Old Forester Barrel Strength Rye, $400. You got a Penelope Barrel Strength. I really love barrel strengths, $99. Probably not actually too far off from MSRP there, so not actually insane on that one. Your Michter single barrel, just the standard release is gonna be $70 right here. Overall, what a crazy selection though. I love to see this kind of stuff in stores. Stuff you don't normally see at home typically, you know? I thought we were done, but right where it's about to leave, look at this. You got William LaRue Weller for $24.99, George C. Stagg 19. Look at that. Stagg Junior for $4.99 and 23B. I had a couple of 23Bs this year. They're pretty good. Russell's 13 right there for $5.99. A Thomas H. Handy, $12.99. I recently got a Thomas H. Handy, and I gotta say, it's one of my favorites that I tasted of the year for sure. Got a little bit of the Weller Rainbow back there. Weller Single Barrel for $9.99, then $6.99 Full Proof. CYPB, actually my first time seeing one in person. $8.99. You got a couple of old Fits. Just insane. That's crazy. All right, y'all, so we're about to head into Midtown 38 Wines. Pedro behind the camera and I were just talking. I think the goal today, after stopping in that first store, especially since we're near Times Square, we're gonna try to find like the craziest, most expensive liquor that you can find in New York City. That first one was wild. So we'll see if we can get any crazier. But yeah, come on, we're gone. This is beautiful. Like, kind of a whiskey guy's dream, tequila, wine, scotch, it doesn't matter. But one thing I wanted to point out before we even move on to the big bottles, look at this. They had the look at that, it's like the size of my hand, the 375 Eagle Rares for 40. I know this is the price of a regular size bottle, but I've never personally seen one in the store. I was gifted one, so cool that they have that. And they also have the 375 Buffalo Trace bottles too for 29. Now come look at this. A whole Booker's collection right here, an entire Booker's. Some that date back, I think 2016 is the earliest I see, which is just wild. And then on top, Weller, Special Reserve, Antique, Weller 12. 349 for Weller 12. And then if you could just go a little higher, they got an Old Forester birthday bourbon up there, $11.99. I don't know what year that is, I can't tell. A lot of this might be just a little too high to see. We're gonna try to get as good a shots for you as possible though. Have any of you ever had this before? Virginia Black. This is Drake's whiskey. You gotta admit though, it's a pretty cool bottle. It's a pretty cool bottle regardless what you think of the juice. So it might be something if you want to grab just to have on the shelf. I don't know what MSRP is, but they have it for $89.99 here. Then Buffalo Trace for $49 is price of the 750 mil. And then they also have, which is pretty unique, pretty cool, can't find it everywhere, $89.99 for the 175 of Buffalo Trace. Aren't these just like ridiculous, like how big they are? It's so funny. But I always buy them because they make great mixers. It's always good to have them on the shelf. I will always have them. Look at this. The kosher rye again and the kosher wheat this time. $149 versus $199 for the two. Look at this mixers. People, oh man. They had the toasted barrel. They had the two of the tins, the rye and the bourbon, and the toasted rye as well. So that's a toasted bourbon, and now they have the toasted rye. Chocolate malted rye and the batch proof Woodford. These are ones that I've never ever seen in person before. They have both of those for $300. Again, you're seeing Henry McKenna at $150. Henry McKenna, I remember, used to be a $30 bottle, so it's actually wild to see that price go up that much. And then right next to it, of course, you have your Blantons for $229. Eagle Rare here, definitely gonna be a little bit cheaper, about $20 cheaper, coming in at $79.99. Other store had it at $100, so cool to see the prices going a little bit further down on certain things. This is the same thing that we were just talking about, the John J. Bowman single barrel. However, the other store had it at $99.99. This is $86. That's MSRP, guys. I'm pretty sure that's MSRP, especially for the old label. This is the old label. I prefer the old one. The green one's whatever, but the old one, the way it has him in the background with the telescope, it just looks clean. $86.99. We're gonna be passing this store on our way back today. I'll probably be grabbing a couple of these just because it's one of my favorite whiskeys of all time. So definitely super pumped to see that. We don't see single barrels at all where I live. The John J. Bowman, and when we do, they just go out like crazy because what people don't know, it's actually the same exact juice as Blanton's here. Same exact juice, they just pump it up to 100 proof and they sell it to a Virginia distillery. So neat, if you didn't know, now you do, hopefully. And not a whole lot more. We're gonna back up now and just show you a great shot of the regular whiskey shelf, but then we also have an allocation cabinet back here. That's just insane, come check it out. So starting up here with all the Parker Heritage bottles. That's just crazy. The new Boss Hog. Actually, that's not the craziest price I think I've seen for that Boss Hog. The new one that came out this year. And then dropping down, you got Weller Single Barrel. $11.99, $9.99 for the full proof. $11.99 for the CYPB. You got a Willet Purple Top for $1,000. Russell's $13. Stag Junior, I can't really see the batch from here. $5.99, Blanton's Gold $3.99. And $8.99 for a tucked away straight from the barrel. Coming down, you have some Thomas H. Handy, of course, for $1,000. Old Fitz bottles. These are just so cool. I don't know if I'll ever be able to own one of these decanter bottles just because I can never find them, but cool to see them in person. So we just got done in our second store here. That was just, it looks like a library full of bourbon. I know it was more of a museum, especially with some of those prices. They had a George C. Stagg on the way out, and I was like, how much do you have that for? $17.40 is what they had a George C. Stagg for. That is just insanity, because I can find it for maybe $700, and I'm still not paying that price. But overall, a great selection. It's so cool to see. That's the goal today. I want to see some of the stuff I'll never see, probably again for a really long time. So it's beautiful in there. I will say though, the John J. Bowman single barrel will come home with me today. We just got to make our way back eventually to grab that, because that is MSRP in there, around MSRP. It might be $10 give or take, but crazy that they have that there. So we'll see you in the next stop. All right, so we're right outside of Times Square. What was it, about a 5-minute walk, I think. This is, I think, the closest store to Times Square that we've been to so far, maybe give or take. So let's go outside, see what they got. All right, so we can film in here, but we're told it's gotta be quick. Starting off Eagle Rare, $74.99, a little cheaper than what we saw. I think about the same as one of the stores. $46.99 Buffalo Trace here. Up there you have some Knob Creek 18 for $1.99. I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that's a great price. Can you see what that single barrel is, Pedro? How much that is?
Single barrel Knob Creek?
No, the single barrel John J. Bowman.
$84.99.
$84.99. $1.99 for the toasted barrel finish. You got Midwinter's Nice Dram, of course. Up there, what's that Weller? The single barrel, way up there.
$2.89.
$2.89 for the single barrel? The orange one?
No, $7.98.
$7.98. Pretty good selection, yeah.
All right, so
A little hard to film in there. There's like a row of liquor and alcohol right in between the shelf. But I did see they have a Michter's Toasted Barrel Stream for $1.99. I've definitely seen that for more. Again, John J. Bowman at $84. Like, I don't know why that one's so cheap here in New York. They had Stag Junior for $3.50. They had the Weller lineup. $7.99, I think, was the single barrel. So overall, crazy prices again. Not the largest selection though. They definitely did have less of a selection than the stores we've seen so far. We're gonna head back towards Times Square. I think we passed one up called Times Square Liquors. Gonna hit that one, maybe one more before we grab lunch. So we'll see you there, guys. All right, so here we are. It's like, look at that entrance, so small. Not really expecting much, especially from the pictures that we saw online. But we're gonna go inside, let's go. Not much of a bourbon selection. You can see it comes from about here. However, half of the selection is Blanton's. Like Blanton's galore. Blanton's in the boxes, Blanton's up here, Blanton's down here, Blanton's right here. There's Buffalo Trace. That's kind of it. I've never seen that before. I don't know how a store can have no whiskey and then have this. $1.99 for the Blanton's, $79.99 for Buffalo Trace. I still think that's pretty cool though. We're walking in here not expecting much, and there it is. It's like a Blanton's haven in here. So if you're looking for Blanton's in New York City, that's, I think, the lowest we've seen it, for sure. And there's a ton of them. You could probably collect all the letters that you want in here, so yeah. So next up we have Times Square Liquor. It's right up here. Hey, if you made it to this point of the video, let me know, do you like these style videos? They're quick. We're just going bam, bam, bam. You're gonna see a lot of cuts in this video. Just try something different. Obviously I can't be in New York City for every single video, but we can think of doing things like this maybe in Denver, other large cities. So let me know what you think, but we're here at Times Square Wine and Liquor, and we're gonna see you inside. All right, y'all, so we are back in the office in New York City, the Bottle Raiders headquarters here. We went all around the city today. As you saw, some pretty insane prices, but also John J. Bowman, the big heavy hitter today. I didn't grab one because we still have like 2 more days of filming content here. So we're probably gonna walk away with at least a couple of those before we leave. We did see recently a Pappy 15 in the last store. New York City's a wild place, man. Wild place as a whole, especially when it comes to liquor stores too. It was a good time. I hope you enjoyed this video. We have a couple more of these New York videos coming your way, so stay tuned. Thanks to all our Patreon members. And yeah, overall, thanks for subscribing, liking the videos, and commenting, and we'll see you in the next one.